real quick look at the Limbus Company patch notes. We're gonna do a quick view of this. I'm not gonna read all of them, but Limbus Company April 6 patch notes. I'm gonna probably end up slowing down on Limbus Company in the near future because the game right now is literally just a login simulator. Not necessarily this patch or whatever soon, but probably when they release their major event, which I believe is the week after this one. That would probably be like one of the last few times that I think about playing Limbus, because right now it's just a kind of a login simulator and it's kind of just a story game, and the story is not really coming out within there's been no new story since the release of the game. So it's very slow and it's kind of just a login simulator, and there's no real kind of like character min-maxing. I thought I'd just preface that here, that Limbus Company for me it's a great game, and we've definitely put in a fair few hours into it. How many hours do I actually have in Limbus? I got 52 hours in Limbus. That's enough for me to know where I sit with the game and have given it a good go. And I even bought the battle pass, so I supported the game to an extent because I do think it is a good game. But let's get into the April 6th patch notes. Maintenance at the same time, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on the 6th for KST, Korean Standard Time. That's fine. New target extractions for 7 Section Director 6 Otis and Lee Section 5 Hong Lu. New characters. I didn't upload the actually it might even be up now, but the looking at the characters kits, it might be up before this, it might be up after this, it might be up at some point, but it'll be up sooner or later. Extraction rates increase for the following identities: 4th Pack Rabbit Heathcliff, which is R Corp, and She Section 5 Heathcliff, as well as N Corp Kleinhammer Heathcliff. So just Heathcliff has had a Heathcliff is just getting a massive raid up banner. It's just all Heathcliff. So if you need any of these, go for it. It's R Corp Heathcliff. He's pretty good. New identity egos: 7 Section Otis and Lee Section Honglu and Telepole Faust. Quite good. Telepole Faust is going to be a part of the charge team, but it is kind of a different playstyle to it. New content, a new feature: Luxcavation Sweep. So you'll now be able to, after clearing a stage in Luxcavation, you unlock the ability to skip the battle for it. When you use the skip button, the Luxcavation stage is automatically cleared once. Using battle costs twice the normal entry for the stage, but it gives 50% more rewards of a normal clear. Rounded up, the entry cost and rewards reflected the change value. I'm not sure why Limbus' company is doing things like this. Just add a sweep mechanic where people can just not play the game all the time. You don't really have to do this weird stuff where it like costs more but you get more. Just let people like spend their 2 things without having to do the fight. It's not, you don't have to try to force players to do something. It's a simple procedure in my opinion. But you get 40 manager XP with the base rewards, 4 tickets and 4 level 2 tickets. And then for rewards for skipping the battle, you get 60, 6 and 6. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like this is just a roundabout way of just like doing something. I don't really know why. It's weird. Just add a sweep mechanic like every other game does. You don't have to be special about certain things that just aren't required to be special. So I got 95 hours. Damn, dude, 95 hours. That's a lot of hours. This part they should just rework this. You don't need this weird sweep mechanic. New system, overclocking. Ego overclock. You can now essentially use I'm going to summarize it. You can now use a corroded ego if you have an excessive amount of the required affinities. So if something requires, let's say Faust's needle ego requires 6 envy baseline. If you want to use it with the corrosive effects, but also have it actually work like in your favor without the whole variable of attacking your own allies, you can. I think you have to. I don't know the exact amount, but you have to spend more. I don't know if they give a percentage. They don't actually give a percentage increase, but you now have to spend, instead of spending 6, you may have to spend 9 or 12 envy to or some shit like that to actually like get the corrosive effect. Or is it corrosive? Yeah, corrosive one. It's spending 1.5 times rather. Sorry, there you go. So it says the ego that I'm talking about costs 6 envy. So now you have to spend 9 envy to cast the corrosive one without having the negative parts of the corrosive effect, which is, it's fine. Will you use this a lot? I don't know. Not a lot of them have some super good effects, to be quite frank with you. Not a lot of the ego's corrosive effects are like extremely good, apart from maybe having just a power increase, really. That's about it. Next one, major changes. Activation requirement for certain combat support passives changed on egos. A lot of things are just being changed for passive activation, seeing as some passives were just fucking ridiculous to Some of them are just fucking ridiculous to trigger. You have to get like 5 sloth. I don't think 5 characters in the game have sloth, so it's just very, very difficulty. And then they changed a lot of stuff for like a lot of these abilities. I'm not going to go through them because it's just a lot of characters and a lot of words. But a lot of characters are getting kind of static number changes and following passive changes. Ego corrosion behavior changes. The corrosion skill appears on the random number of slots. Panic blocks are now added to the slots where the corrosion slot did not appear. Panic blocks prompt no action in particular when changed. Don't know what the fuck that means, but it's changed something. And then changes to the sin resistance modification when using ego skills. Fin resistance updated when using an ego skill. Current iteration, when using an ego skill, only the stronger resistance values from the ego will override the unit's current resistance. After the update, when using an ego skill, the ego's resistance values completely override the current ones, whether or not they are more advantageous. So it's essentially better, right? You're using an ego skill is just going to equal into more damage. Very good. A lot of bug fixes, just a lot of them. Too many for me to really care about reading again and again and again. Because it's, again, I'll summarize it, the game is just making itself function like a functionable game. There's probably a few game-fixing ones here. I don't doubt that they fixed a few of the abnormalities that were kind of busted. I think they shadow fixed the apple, because the apple had like an immortality bug at like, I think last week or something. I think they fixed that already because they killed it yesterday or today, and it was quite smooth. And then finally, you just get a bunch of lunacy. It's pretty fine. It's okay. Just gonna summarize it. They're fixing the game. They're adding some characters. Still no story. There is an event. I didn't pull that up because I wanted to pull it up by itself, but there is the event thing happening. Now, did they post it in English? I hope so. Is this the full, like, talk about the railway? No, I didn't want to open that. They do have the full kind of, like... Is this the same thing that they posted last time? It looks the same. No, it's not, no. Oh, this last one is. I'm not going to open that one. But it's like what's it called? Refraction Railway Line 1. You have to clear all the story available in the current game, and then you can just do these 13 stages. 13 difficult stages. When open for a limited time, you may enter the challenge and activate line to enter at no cost. Upon entering, you'll choose a number of identities and egos to do the expedition. Upgrades will only apply after starting a new run from the beginning. Each stage will give you rewards after clearing it for the first time during the event period. So there's only one-time rewards. Nothing more than that, only one-time rewards. Clearing every stage while fulfilling given requirements will give you a special decorated banner, which we saw at the end there. This is the special decorated banner. If you play during the first week of the event, you'll get this one, and that's how it'll look. It'll have this shine. After that, you'll get this one. And I think if you do it at the very end of the thing, you'll get the shitty one at the back of the basic banner. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Going on to the next thing. Claiming rewards. When you clear a stage, the station will record the number of turns taken to clear it. For those who don't know, this event is based on how many turns you take to clear it. It's not how fast you clear it in terms of like time or something like that. It's turns or, some turns. That's all it's based off. Nothing else. Throughout all 13 stages. After clearing a stage in the line for the first time during the event period, the rewards will be sent to the Lost and Found. To gain access to the Lost and Found, a number of Encephalon modules will be required to. Afterwards, you may freely access and claim the rewards you've earned without any additional cost. Essentially, there is like a maximum amount of rewards that you can claim. This is how it works, essentially. You do one run of 13 stages, and then you'll be asked to open up the box for a specific amount of Encephalon. If they show on the screen 25 Encephalon modules to open up the Lost and Found, after you spend that, it will be opened up permanently. And then, depending on how well you did, depends on which rewards you get. There's going to be thresholds, I assume. So if you clear it in 100 turns, then you'll get whatever the benchmark or the threshold for 100 turns worth of rewards is. But then if you redo it, and you clear it within 40 turns, then that threshold will then update and go to the 40-turn mark, or the 50-turn mark, wherever the milestone is. That's practically how the system is going to work, right? Because that's probably going to be explained here. Or no, this is combat details, my apologies. Every battle on the line adopts an abnormality method of directly matching all skills against enemy skills. The health and sanity of the sinners will carry over between stages. However, after clearing a stage, those who do not participate in the battle will fully recover their health and sanity when entering the next stage. When a sinner dies, they'll remain unavailable for the rest of the expedition. Ego resources will carry over between stages. When you lose a battle, you will be taken back to the point right before entering the stage. During an expedition, you can choose to start from any previous stage. When you do, a battle will start. And we've read this before. It's just 13 stages, and they all act like abnormality fights. But are they abnormality fights? No. As we can tell, one of the guys right here, that's the fucking first villain of the first chapter at the very end, with Gregor, I believe. So they aren't guaranteed to be abnormality fights, but some of them will be abnormality fights, but they do all adopt the abnormality fight system. Simply put, that's how it is. There's nothing more to it. Simply, boom, abnormality. This is going to be a fun event. There's going to be people trying to set records and whatnot. I'm going to enjoy it. We're going to enjoy it on Friday. We're going to come in for Limbus Company Friday. Going to do all of our daily stuff and weekly stuff, and also enjoy a bit of the event, roll some stuff, and maybe on Friday we'll come to a nice solid conclusion of where I stay with Limbus Company going further. But obviously I do want to play the first major event, which will be happening the week after. But that will probably, like, I can't see myself playing Limbus Company for like the foreseeable future into the like all the stories and all the districts. You know, that's definitely, if all the districts were available from the start of the game, and it just depends on your account progression, how fast and how much you can clear it, I would be a lot more inclined to do that. But because it's a very slow release of story, it's been what, about, like, you know, when did the game launch? At the start of this year, roughly February, end of February, start of February, and we're at the kind of the start of April, and there's kind of like, I don't know when any other new story is coming. So I'm just kind of like, I think some story tidbits could be nice to be added. And just, it's a personal thing. I just can't see myself playing a game with this level of story release and how the day-to-day gameplay goes. Just a me thing, though. Just a me thing. If people enjoy the game, 100% go for it. And if you want to continue playing Limbus, I don't want to try to convince people to not play Limbus, by the way. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I don't want to try to do that. I'm just saying that I don't think the game is, in the long run, for me.